From the most westerly town in Ireland, tonight's guest established her business in 1998, and she has successfully negotiated recessions, the digital revolution, and a pandemic. She joins us to share her passion and her enthusiasm and her inspirational story. Everybody, please welcome tonight's guest on Sunday Girl, Elaine Sheehy. Elaine, thank you so much for joining all of us here on Sunday Girl.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for asking, Orla.
And tell everybody, where are we now?
So we're here in the T-shirt Gardens in Green Street. Okay. Absolutely beautiful spot. It's kind of the gardens attached to the nuns' presentation, convent order. So the T-shirt is down here, and then there was a presentation, primary and secondary school. So the gardens are open to the public now. They've done an absolutely beautiful job. They have a gorgeous biodiverse area. Here we're in the gazebo with some beautiful trees, all indigenous to the area. And there's lovely topiary kind of a maze as well in the third garden on your way up.
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean, I haven't been up here before, and it's stunning both visually and to the senses.
Oh, it's class.
And there's bird song everywhere.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. People now, because it's all outdoor dining, are just getting their takeaway coffee from downtown and strolling up in and around the gardens. And it is food for the soul.
It is food for the soul. And it's also thankfully shelter for the head, because we actually had planned to shoot this down by the water, and look, the good old Irish summer did its thing, and we're sheltering under this beautiful gazebo. So Elaine, back to the beginning, tell us all about yourself.
Oh, well, I'm actually native of Dingle, so born in the heart of Dingle town here in Green Street. My family have like a supermarket at the end of the street, Sheehy's Supermarket.
And were you born in Dingle? Is there?
Actually, I was born in Tralee, but yeah, a little bit of a story to that. Meant to be born in Dingle, last minute rushed into Tralee from the Dingle Hospital. But anyhow, brought up on the street here in Green Street, went to the Presentation Convent Primary School, just here, and then the secondary, just the other side of the wall. And so I worked just in the family business growing up. So I really was brought up in retail. So it's sort of natural to me, you know.
What was the family business? It was retail?
So it was retail, it was a supermarket and a gift shop and florist.
Okay.
So as I went up along, I would have done a florist course maybe about the age of 18 and worked at that end of it. And then later on, so after my leaving cert, I went off to College of Marketing Design in Mountjoy Square. And I did, it was business studies, but it was actually retail marketing. So, when I finished there, my first job was in Palmascott in Grafton Street.
Gosh,
so,
you worked at Palmascott in Grafton?
Yeah.
I would have walked in and out of there many times, because I grew up in Dublin.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
Yeah, I used to.
Of course.
Oh, it was a landmark store.
It was,
store.
you know, like everywhere I worked, I was so fortunate, because for me, I learned so much even there working with the Barons. I mean, the training was brilliant. And Maura Levy, the lady I should say, who was in charge of recruiting and the store manager, was just phenomenal. So that was 1990.
I was still in Dublin, so I definitely would have.
Yeah, 1990. And all the girls I worked with there, like I now buy off one of them. They're all still in the trade. I like meet them when I'm in Dublin buying and everything else. So it's such a small world. And Dublin, I mean, you know, it's been great to me. Everything I learned in Dublin, or from college and from work point of view, has really stood to me, you know? So after Dublin, I came back down and worked at Aware in Tralee for a while. Yeah, and then I went off to London. So I decided, so I was either going to go to the States or London. I did get a Donnelly visa at the time. But I was in London waiting, and I decided I'm just going to stay put. I loved it. And I was, you know, settled into a house at that stage with girls that I knew. So I worked in House of Fraser in Regent Street first. So I was there about 2 years. And then I moved to Selfridges in Oxford Street. So again, just fantastic. The buzz of London, the social life, you know, early 20s. Living the dream at the time.
And working with those, like, their fashion institutions, essentially. So you would learn so much.
So much. And I must say, like in House of Fraser, given the opportunity to do an in-house training management course, which was absolutely brilliant. So when I came back, and then I got a job in Brown Thomas in Grafton Street. So that was fab. It was in the designer room. And initially I worked kind of under Ian Galvin, so he had set up the studio range then, and I started on that section, and then later on I worked with Cecily McMinimum, so it was more the, they were doing a diffusion line of Giorgio Armani, so it was the Mani department was my baby. So that was launched, and even like, Paul Kelly being the store manager, people were so good to you and came onto your department each day, asked, how things were, the feedback they gave you and the opportunities they gave you were fantastic because they put their trust in you as well. So, and I had experience at that stage from London and from going through college and all of that. So then I got recruited in Brown Thomas to do a trainee management course within BT's as well. So after about maybe, I think it was 2.5 years, I decided I would follow my dream and come back to Dingle. There's always a draw. Anyone who's ever been to Dingle will know it just draws you back here again. In that stage, I kind of was ready to work for myself as well. I wanted to just try it out anyhow. And I really didn't have any fear because my parents have been self-employed all their lives. A lot of us, most of us here in Dingle, to make it, have to be self-employed because there is no big industry here. So in 1997-98, I started looking around for the correct premises. And I was very fortunate to find a lovely shop in Main Street. It was just across the road from Central Supermarket. So I opened the doors of La Bohème in September 1998.
September 1998.
I know.
That is, oh my gosh, 23 years ago, is it?
23 years ago. Show my age now.
You're a young one still.
I know. So I like to think I am.
Oh, that was so exciting. I think something you touched on there is that you had to know fear.
No, I didn't.
You followed your dream.
Yeah.
Like, so you worked in Ireland, and you worked abroad. You worked with big brands with well-established fashion institutions, and then you took all of that knowledge.
Yes.
You came home and you kind of said to yourself, naturally, I'm ready for this.
Oh, I'm ready, and I'll try
scared.
it. I was 27, and I thought, what, I went about doing my feasibility study, went to the bank, got my loan, my overdraft facility, all of that, and I thought, I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, it's not a big deal, But I was able to go to the suppliers in Dublin, and I opened within about, I'd say, 4 months of securing the premises. So I actually had to go and buy stock for the season. I wasn't able to forward buy like we do now, 6 months in advance. So I would have gone to Dublin sort of June, July and August and opened my doors mid-September. So I was very fortunate, even dealing with Mark O'Rourke from O'Rourke Stallman and people like this. I mean, I was just so lucky. I met the nicest people and they were like just so ready to go with me on this.
And you knew what you were about as well.
I knew what I was about.
Like, sometimes people open up fashion businesses almost on a whim.
That's it.
And they have not bringing a background like you were bringing. You're bringing a background of family retail, self-employment, and then working in the business. So
absolutely, and it all
you knew what you were walking into.
I really did, and like even the agents would say to me over the years, if I'm in a show in London or something, and I know them all so well now. There could be some other gorgeous girls on the stand and so excited and about to open up a boutique. And I'll chat to the agent afterwards and they'll say, oh, they're from such a place. And, they have a passion for fashion. They absolutely love it. But you really do need to, if anyone is thinking about doing this, you really need to have a business background. So my advice would be nearly go do your business course first, The back end of retail fashion, where you'll know, is, my God, there is so much work to be done there,
And exactly, the point you've made is so important, that 90% of both our jobs is business.
Absolutely.
It's really, you're administering the business, you're working out your margins.
Yes.
It's really the boring side, really.
Oh,
and 10% is what the world sees.
Yeah.
And that's fashion. But if you can't get the 90% right, you won't have a business.
No.
That has lasted 23 years.
That's the thing. And I mean,
23 years.
Yeah.
What were your career highlights during that period?
So over 23 years, first of all, opening the door of La Bohème was so exciting, obviously, to realise my dream and do that. Things like I did a live on maybe Ireland AM one morning and got an absolutely fantastic response. It was during Felna Bialton here in Dingle. They filmed at the Skellig. The Today Show with you, Orla.
That was great fun.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was great
that
fun.
was March of this year.
Right.
It was unreal, the response. Thank you to everyone.
That's
who did
great to hear.
respond. Yeah. You know, and I just set up
She's
my
not
online.
being paid for this endorsement.
Yeah, I had just set up my online shop in October. Given the year that we've all had to diversify and adapt as best we can. So I was actually just established and ready online when that opportunity came my way.
Again, you're ahead of the posse. You're evolving your business all the time. Not only have you got through this particular period in time and, you know, joined the digital revolution online,
Yes.
but you've also seen down 2 major recessions.
Yeah, I know.
You know, so
yeah.
you're a survivor.
Yeah.
So you're obviously anticipating, you're looking into the future at all points in time, and you know that it's all about change.
Yeah, totally.
You know, and embracing change.
Yeah. I mean, I think doing marketing in college, that the whole principle of marketing will always stand with me. And it's all about anticipating and identifying and satisfying your customers' needs, and it's a never-changing environment. You know, so it's constantly, and you have to be on the lookout. We can all adapt, but we just need to look outside the box.
So surviving and thriving in a fashion business for 23 years, it's an enormous achievement, Elaine.
Oh, thanks.
So what kind of general advice would you give somebody watching this who's thinking of setting up a fashion business?
So I think it's very important, as I said, to have your business background and do your business course and you know, have that side of it covered. But it really is building up a rapport with your customer, and just people love the honesty that they get when they come into my shop, and the fun and the crack, and just it's a feel-good factor. Even just today now when I was leaving, people was like, oh my God, it was such a pleasure. We'll definitely be back. It's kind of, so many people have said to me, you know, a trip to Dingle wouldn't be complete without a visit to La Bohème. And if you enjoy what you do, then...
Well, the passion for your job, it literally exudes out of every pore in your body.
Oh, thanks,
and I think
Orla.
as well, that's another reason you are so successful. There's something magnetic about that.
Yeah, I think if you love what you do and, you know, you enjoy it and you're excited. And for me as well, it's the feedback of a customer being really pleased with the outfit they've selected or the new look that they've got, and just leaving a shop with that feel-good factor themselves, you know?
That's what it's all about. Keeping the customer happy.
That's it.
Nothing has changed.
Oh, thanks,
No,
Orla.
nothing
I
has
know,
changed.
but we're all the same. I mean, I get a buzz if I go somewhere and I get that lovely service in a restaurant or whatever, and I feel I've been really looked after, I'm like, definitely got to go back, you know?
And that's why you're successful, Elaine.
Thank you.
So listen, thanks a million for joining me, for joining all of us on Sunday Girl. And from both of us, we wish you a wonderful week.